The only thing left for you to do is to stop doing. The I who longs for the true being, the one who has brought you this far, has served you wonderfully, and its part is now over. It's time to lay your I down and let it rest at last. Your mind has brought you through the jungle to the bank of the river of being. Be fearless. Fall in and allow the flow of the river to carry you the rest of the way. No thought can help you now, no tactic, no technique. Your mind will have no idea what will happen next. Your mind will have no choice over the words that flow from your lips. The time of the mind is over. There is nothing left to understand. Let go of understanding. Let go of the true witness. You do not need it, for it is just another thought after all. Be still. Close your eyes. Take a breath, and without another thought, take a step. Keep walking and don't look back. You are already free. You already are and always have been the river. It is only a thought that is coming and going from its banks. From the river, you are watching this thought coming to the bank, then walking away, only to return again. It's only a thought that is afraid, only a thought that thinks there is more that needs to be done, something that needs to be integrated, something that is unfinished. All of this is only going on in your head. When you dream at night, do you feel the need to sort things out and organize your dream self's life to ensure your dream self understands before you leave dream behind and wake up? Of course not. It is but only a dream after all, a beautiful dream, a cherished dream, but a dream all the same. The I does not need anything to be arranged or understood to satisfy it, because that I thought does not exist. It is your creation, not you. Be clear about this, or it will always lead you on with another task, a point it doesn't understand. This is how the I thought keeps you under its spell, with the ultimate seduction that it can offer you something you need. You do not need it. You never have. Laugh, and the world laughs with you. The only thing to do now is absolutely nothing. Try not to be so hard on your identity. It isn't really a problem after all. It is simply a survival mechanism built to navigate this human world. The problem comes with identifying with it. Try leaving it be. Let your mind flow if it wants. Be one with it. Purposely and consciously think as much as you like. Fantasize. Tell yourself jokes. Stop taking the mind so seriously. It seems serious because you take it to be so. The shape of the mind is only ever what you create it to be. You are always determining your reality, was a quote by Muji that really stuck a chord in me and continues to resonate in experience. You are always determining your reality. Do not create a mental image of yourself and try to control the mind that way. It is like creating an unnecessary middleman that doesn't even exist. Instead, just be. Allow the mind to just be, and existence to just be. Use your mind, but do not be used by it. Realize yourself as the one and only master of the mind. You are not its slave or subordinate. It is your tool to play with, and so far you have been using it to imagine yourself trapped. Why not use it to imagine you're free? Use it to feel like a child again and run and dance and sing and laugh. The mind is not your enemy. It is not another. Ultimately, it is only an aspect of yourself that you do not understand your relationship with. Instead of resisting and oppressing it and finding problems with it, just embrace it. There is no harm or sin in the mind, and if you choose to operate consciously with it instead of stand at odds with you, you may find that together, you and mind working as one can understand great things. My advice and practice for you to just play. Have some fun with yourself and your mind. You may find it's not so serious after all if you don't will it to be that way. Bear in mind, my friend, that all apparent progress is only taking place in the realm of the imagination. You are already right here. How can you progress? Just be here, where you already are, where you always have been. You never truly went anywhere, you only imagined it. You are waking from a lifelong dream of yourself is all. You are right. It will go on forever if you keep being the one who has to transcend thought, who is only a thought himself. You are only observing it all. Just remain there, my friend, and the mind will settle on its own. It seems as though the real work is done. The illusion has been broken and was in the process of evaporating away. It won't be long. As the Beatles sang, now turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. The one who is dissolving is completely imaginary. You don't need to hold on to that imaginary self anymore. You don't need to dissolve him. Simply stop creating him. There is nobody there fading away after all. Come be with me and be what you really are. It's amazing how much of a grip we hold in our bodies, especially our head and our face. Once you let go, the facial tension will disappear, a happy little bonus. It's a beautiful thing for the roles we play to begin to drop and to see our loved ones with clarity instead of through the veil of the roles they play in our lives. These roles aren't bad, of course, but it is amazing how even the most innocent of role playing can mask the beauty of seeing the reality of being and those around us. My own relationship with my parents changed once the roles were gone. They no longer had to play a part in tune with me. There was no longer any expectations or judgments. We were equals, just love, so much love. In a way, it is like all my loved ones, friends, and family alike are swept up in my wake. The more I love, the more they love. Like a beautiful healing is taking place spontaneously. I now understand the meaning behind the phrase, the greatest thing you can do for the world is to know yourself. I feel both gradual process and speaking on the absolute reality have their usefulness to a certain point. Ultimately, talk of both these ideas will need to be abandoned for true clarity to reveal itself. This gradual process of layers being unraveled appears to be an unending experience. There seems to be no end to the depth of self. Further and further the flower blooms and opens with no end in sight. An acceptance occurs that this unfolding is occurring by itself, and any attempt at controlling or manipulating this process is coming solely from the mind, so therefore should just be discarded, as indulgence in this thought will only throw a spanner in the machinery. Eventually, it is seen that the thinking mind is a hindrance rather than a help in this regard. One need only relax into yourself. Watch silently from the place of being, undoing any identifying that may habitually occur, and the rest will do itself. Your identification with thoughts that think they are doing is the only real habit you need to expose. In many ways, this me will arise. Just notice it is not you. That is all. Just notice it is not you, this me that arises. Over and over, your habitual thoughts will rise, and over you will unidentify them until it is over for good. Consciousness will continue unfolding itself when you are no longer under the illusion that you are doing it. You can just watch and enjoy the ride. You're already falling down the unending rabbit hole now. No need to control the fall or to grab anything that appears on the way. Let Maya take care of the rest. You remain as you are. Suffering fades away. Such is the power of your own being. No thought can withstand the light of your own clear seeing. The end of ego is nothing to fear. In fact, it is only the ego itself that fears its own end. When the final scene occurs and the ego disappears, you will remain most perfect and content. Don't think of the ego as the end of yourself. It is nothing of the sort. It is simply the end of all fear, all pain, all desperation, all depression, all anxiety, all belief in foolish thinking. You will look back at how you used to think ego was even significant at all and laugh. The sooner you realize that you are not the doer, that the doer is another thought identified with, and that you have simply just been the one that is quietly witnessing the whole time, the sooner you will be liberated once and for all. All mental foolishness is over now, and you can abide in the natural state blissfully, happily. The root of the egoic identity is insecurity, or rather, fear of death. All searching, grasping, suffering branches from the root fear of ceasing to exist. And this fear itself arises from the misunderstanding of taking the I exist feeling to be one's actual being. We know, albeit we suppress the knowledge, that the I exist feeling is temporary, and so we constantly seek to ensure its survival and prolong its existence. This is the beginning of the great dance of Maya, the attachment to the feeling I am, and the dis-ease of knowing that this feeling that one day ends. But reality lies beyond the I am. The I am beingness, consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, is the great mirror which is held up to our true nature, verifying that you exist. Yet this reflection is not your absolute being itself. We attach to this feeling because we are obsessed with our own self-recognition, the idea of self being the ultimate addiction. Liberation lies in all ideas of oneself being completely destroyed with no ground on which to stand. Only then is your true nature revealed as the eternal principle that witnesses the whole of existence and cradles the universe in its arms. From this ancient state, no words apply. For the sake of pointing, I use common language and concepts in order to help turn your attention inward towards your true nature. But the reality is that all thoughts are empty, all language is conceptual and symbolic only, and all dharmas, dogmas, mantras, scriptures, concepts, and the like must be laid to rest, as they ultimately are seen to be non-truth. There is nothing you can say or think that is true. The truth is already apparent. It is the silence before words. It is the infinitude from which a thought arises. It is your very being that witnesses all experiences and yet remains untouched, uninvolved, unfazed. After a point, you will realize the uselessness of trying to conceptualize or understand your true nature, as you will see that it cannot be understood or spoken about. You can only be that. Words take you to the foot of the cliff, but they must be left on the cliff edge as you jump into the unknown. You are coming toward the end of the path now. Are you ready to step over the edge? You are not the I who has pretensions. You are not the I who is on the path to enlightenment. The true I is wordless and silent, present and still, only looking. The I that is rolling through different states of tensions and relaxation, joy and pain, is the story of yourself, the me that you have been most in love with for most of your life. This is not what you are. This is an idea of yourself, a thought stream. Your attention is fixed on it, so you believe it is you, but you are that which is aware this story is even happening in the mind. You are here even during the tension and the pretension, and you will still be here when you cease paying attention to this I thought. Simply focus on your own presence and watch as the I thought fades away, leaving only a quiet mind and clear seeing. There is nothing you need to achieve, nor any story you need to resolve or complete. Enlightenment is not a huge shift, a dramatic event, a glittering finale to the story of enlightenment. If you expect this, then it will never come. You will be caught in the me trap, forever writing the story of how you are on a search for yourself and you are waiting for the big enlightenment climax moment. Enlightenment is when you just drop this story of yourself. No climax, no resolution, it's just dropped, let go, ceased to be dreamed up. You stop writing, you stop creating the story, and just remain as you have always actually been, just quiet, just present, not doing or thinking anything in particular. No story, no resolution to the me to become enlightened anymore. Then you will realize you are free. Self-inquiry goes on until even the inquirer has been questioned, uprooted, and exposed as something phenomenal and not yourself. Then there is only your natural state left, which is present yet non-conceptualized. Or, to put it even more simply, you're just totally conscious without ever thinking an idea of yourself up anymore. The idea is dead, and that doesn't mean that your memory is wiped or it's deleted completely. The capability to think and imagine and conceptualize remains. Just your belief that you are something that can create in thought ceases. Again, just your belief that you are something you can create in thought ceases. You just are. And this presence never questions itself, never doubts. This isn't whimsical language. I'm trying to be as literal as possible. Awareness does not ask questions. Awareness does not get involved in anything that arises for it. This is all thought, all the idea I. The true I is ever silent and quite happy. I understand there could be an urge to speak to others about what's going on and express the revelations you're experiencing, but ultimately they won't understand unless they wish to inquire themselves. So you may find it best just to keep quiet about it. Turn your attention to the looking, not the objects you're looking at. Recognize that perception is spontaneously occurring without being done by anyone. The me likes to claim ownership of things, to believe that it is controlling, but it is just a thought. Put it down for a moment. Just be conscious. The final scene is described as spontaneous because that literal realization, the ultimate realization, occurs suddenly and clearly. There is no doubting when the recognition has occurred. You realize that the great silence, the ultimate absolute, the pure awareness, Christ nature, all these great mystical shrouded divine concepts and symbols are all just pointing at you, that simpler than simple feeling of me, not the thought I, not the voice in your head that you listen to and have become so accustomed to listening to that you believe it is your very self, but just the feeling me, just the feeling I exist, the simple recognition that you are here. The simplicity and obviousness of it will be dazzling clear, and you'll most likely have a great bout of laughter when you get that the joke is you. Yes, the immovable is invisible.